I drove from here before. Have I drove? I mean, I'm guessing you've drove with the previous instructor, but have I drove out of here with you before?
No, it's the first time.
Okay. We covered lane changing before.
Lane changing, no.
Have we done any lane changes?
No.
Have you done lane changes with other instructor? Just when you set up and that, or just tell me.
Just change the inclination.
On the right, on your right hand side, there's a lever. If you push the lever backwards and lean forwards, it's right in the corner. That's it. Sort of lean on the seat and you'll stop it from.
This is perfect.
You happy? Are you sure that's not upright a bit too much, or?
I want it to be like this.
You want it to be like that, okay. It's good to be supported.
Yeah.
All it does though, what it can do is make your arms really close to the steering wheel. So if the airbag went off,
yeah.
Good, yeah. So there's always a solution. Before you lock that in place, are you confident that that's not going to be in the way of you?
Yeah. It's not in the way.
That's fine.
You can see everything clearly.
That's cool.
Clutch, steering wheel position, mirrors. Okay.
Okay, keys are there when you need them. What about the head restraints? Where should that be? You got it. That's it. That's just maximising its protection now.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a gap there before. Okay, so before we move off then, we've already made a plan that we're going to cover roundabouts. Or do you need any help from me with your roundabouts? Anything you want me to keep my eye on?
Probably while approaching the roundabout, if I'm approaching it too fast, just let me know. This speed is appropriate for the roundabout which we're approaching.
In terms of speed, think about the width of the lane on the approach and the visibility. But yeah, I'll keep my eye on that and I'll let you know. Otherwise, just leave you to it, yeah? And then I'll obviously feedback if needed.
Yep.
At the time, if it's something immediate, but afterwards, if it's something that's not so critical.
Yep.
And the emergency stop, yeah? And you've never done that before. That's fine then. So we'll put up at some point to do that. The other thing then is the lane changes. So just want to make sure, what's your routine when you change lanes? Because I've not seen you do one before.
I just see the center mirror and whichever side I'm moving.
Yeah, okay.
Mirrors, side mirrors, and then move off, give the signal and then move off.
What about the signal? Should the signal be flashing before you go? Should you do it as you go?
First I'll do the mirrors and then signal and then start moving.
Great. Why is it important the signal flashes a couple of times before you go then? Before you start to steer across?
Yeah, because if it just gives a signal to the car just behind me, saying that I'm ready to move.
Great.
Sideways.
Yeah.
So they can do whatever they want.
Exactly, and probably not accelerate. Didn't close the gap you're going to drive into if they've got forewarning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you check anything else when you change lanes?
My what do you call this?
Blind spot.
Blind spot.
Yeah. So how would you check the blind spot on the move then? Because it's a bit different to being at the side of the road because you're travelling at some speed.
Yeah. Just a quick glance.
That's it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Quick sideways glance, chin to shoulder if you like, like that. Just gets your vision just that bit further. If the car is lurking in the bit the mirror don't show, we're going to spot him. Just make sure when you look back when you steer, you are looking back forwards. Don't start to steer as you do the glance. And leave the signal on until you've completed your manoeuvre, just in case somebody thinks you changed your mind mid-manoeuvre. All right?
Yep.
Cool. So, anything else you want me to help you with, or just?
I think in today's lesson, sorry, I forgot to get my paper and pencil, which I usually do.
Yeah, I
forgot
thought that.
that.
That's all right. Do you want it or?
That's okay. We'll carry on
Yeah.
with this, and then probably for the next lesson I'll bring it.
Fine.
Yeah. Sorry.
You carry on.
I think one more thing which is in our list for this lesson is junctions on inclined roads.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
What's the aim on that then?
While we approach the junctions on the inclined roads, how do we do it without stalling the car? Like how we approach it slowly and then do the checking and then move off.
Without necessarily stopping completely
Stopping
and handbrake and all that lot. Yeah.
So it's just more of clutch control and.
Great. Yeah. Okay then. Great. Yeah. So we'll have a look at that.
Okay.
All right, and we'll decide the level of instruction and whatnot when we're sort of within the area. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll drive on when you're ready, turning left out of the car park to the end of the road, and we'll turn. Let me just think about this in terms of what we're doing. Yeah, we'll turn right.
Right.
So right at the end. Brakes work. Sorry. Probably good to have a little feel of those as you're coming down and out that driveway. You know, on that downhill slope. Nice little opportunity there to just get on the brakes a bit, just feather them, feel your way into them. Have you been driving anything else since?
Yes.
You have.
Understand that.
How did I know to ask that?
Yeah, just because I've just pressed on the brakes. Yeah, I was just parking my car, which I've told you, like an old Clio, Renault Clio. Yeah.
I'm going to turn right at the lines. Stuff there. Sorry to interrupt you. What about this junction here? What do we do for that? Just hold back here. Lights have changed anyway, so it's not so bad. But if we're here for a while and somebody wants to turn in, we'll make sure we keep it, just spotting them on the approach, so we can plan to hold back for them.
Yeah.
Try and have a little look, even though it's a light controlled junction. Somebody could be trickling through, cyclist or. You okay?
Yeah.
Create a bit more space. Every time the black car moves, we're mirroring its movement. If the black car brakes harshly, we could end up not being able to stop in time. There's less pressure when we've got a bigger gap anyway, and we can see more of the road around us and what's going on in front. So when it moves, don't feel pressured to move with it. It's usually probably the worst thing to do. Good gas work there. We've been working on that recently, haven't we?
I just keep looking at what I write down at the end of every lesson, the paper. So
yeah.
This gas bit is there every time, like in the past couple of lessons.
Okay.
I've written it down, so that's in my mind.
Good, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
So let's create a bit more space. Now, are you aware what happens at the end of this road? There's some roadworks. What happens as a result of those roadworks?
They might put in some signals.
It could do, but it tends to narrow now.
Yeah.
Just check your mirror. Just be aware of what's at the side of you, and your right mirror as well. Just Because things could, like that van in front, did you see it cut in while we was talking? Something else could just jump in front of us, so just check, that's it, just as we're stopping. Just come over to the left a bit more, and check your left mirror for any cyclists before you do that. Because at this low speed, they'd soon catch up, wouldn't they, a cyclist on the left. It's student central around here as well. I'm not saying all students ride bikes, but some do.
Yeah.
So we might need to do a lane change at some point as we follow through on the ring road.
So are we going on A52?
Not yet, we're going to head towards Pride Park, I was thinking. Just keep with that curve, because you're just straying into what would be the other lane a little bit there. Was you aware of that? So when you're turning a bend, if you leave the curve, you're going to be more so going over that middle dashed white line, aren't you?
Yeah.
So if you're just on top of it now, so if you steer left a bit, check your left door mirror, see what your space is like. You're probably nowhere near as close as you might think you are, for example. What's your thoughts when you've had a look?
We have the space.
Yeah, that's fine. So what gear could we be going into now then? Yeah, and just going to follow the road ahead, Sharon. So what could we have on the left and right as we follow this lane ahead?
Left and right. Cars.
Yeah.
Cars moving.
Yeah, cutting in front of us and stuff.
Yeah.
Particularly as the road cuts off, because people realise, oh, I'm going the wrong way. You know, it might make a... God, so you problem solved for yourself there. What was the initial issue? Just off the gas a little bit, because we're doing 48 and a 40, just be careful. Easy to get carried away when the road opens up, there's no houses at the side and that, but just keep glancing at your speedometer, regular glances. Try not to lower that speed too much though, because then that's dangerous, that's the other end of the spectrum. So we're going to just ease off the gas, we're going to do a lane change, one to the left, and sideways glance. Just need that before we go, because there could be something just lurking in the blind spot that we don't see.
Yeah.
Now we're going to really focus on the lane position here and not cut the lane, so just braking before we get to this bend, and that's fine. I'm glad the lights change actually, so it gives us a chance to talk about this. Do you see, if you turn too early here, because there's two lanes that bend around, if you turn too early, where's the left side, where am I going to be?
Left side, we'll just move into that line.
Yeah, so stay straight for longer and turn later, so we don't cut this car up on the left. So if the pause becomes a weight, we can apply the handbrake. Just saves you, can allow you to come off the brake lights then, so as to not dazzle anybody behind. Potentially. Any questions so far?
No.
That's good there, nice line through there. And the speed limit then, did you catch it coming down the hill?
No.
It's 30, and I ask here because you're bound to brake to do more than 30 as you look at the road ahead, I would say. You wouldn't think it was a 30 really, would you?
Because of wide roads.
Exactly. So keep looking at all that information, it's all there, it's just a case of you spotting it. Speed limits then, normally at the end of a road or the beginning of a new one. Just steer left a bit, because we're just veering towards as though we was turning right, for example. That's it, so we want to be centre of the lane. That's it, a bit more glances in there, a bit more regularly, and that should sort that out. Just be careful of your speed, you're about to come downhill, off the gas. Just braking a bit now, that'll do. So you're doing 36, when is it actually 40? When you see the sign, or when you get level and past the sign?
Speed up. Yeah, I just saw the...
Okay, at the roundabout we're going to turn left, first exit. Nice one, well done. That's good speed there. That's really good. So you caught your lane positioning, didn't you? You look back forward in time, like you told me about at the beginning.
Yeah.
And how did that feel for you? Yeah. So steer left. steer left.
Drifting more towards
And what's the danger in that, you think?
cars coming from the other side.
Particularly if they were going to turn right, they'd position left of their centre. So we could knock door mirrors and stuff. Worst case scenario and all that.
Yeah.
Or if they're overtaking a cyclist. So we're going to, at the roundabout, go straight ahead, second exit. I'm quite impressed with that. How do you feel?
Good.
Right, we was talking about something, we had to stop talking about it because of those lights back in town. I can't remember exactly what it was.
It's the speed sign, 40 speed
Yeah,
limit.
that's it. So be keep checking that speed, what you're doing, what the road is, relate the two.
Yeah.
And we're going to turn right at the roundabout. It's fourth exit this time, Sharon. Just reconfirm that signal. Just cancelled. And the speed limit is?
40.
Can we do it? Yep. We're going to turn right at the next roundabout. That's third exit. So what signal do we need? Great. Well, don't really need much from me, do you, with the roundabout so far?
Yeah.
So I'm quite impressed with that. Did you do much? We're going to turn right in the next one. Did you do much work on it last lesson then, the roundabouts?
Couple of them, yes.
Was it more putting the theory in place as to how to do it? Yeah. And the speed limit is? Sorry?
40.
It's 30.
Really.
Can't be guessing. You've got to keep up to date with it all times. So what we can do, because speed's proving to be a bit of a thing, knowing what the limit is,
Yeah.
I can give you a talk through to every single sign I see, and we'll keep up to date with it, and then I'll sort of hand that over to you in a little bit. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Alright, so it's the end of the road and there's no speed sign, so it's got to be 30 from here on. We're going to take the second exit. I'm glad you chose the left. We're going to take the second exit, so don't signal on the... Left leg. Just follow those markings. I know they're faded.
Yeah.
Or follow the curb. The curb never fades. So if the curb's in the same place on your dashboard, your driving reference point, and you're in your lane. There wasn't anybody there, but there could have been. And if somebody was there, what would you have done to their space?
Cut into their
Then you'd probably forced them to brake or something like that. So it's 30 now. It's just changed to 30 there, coming down the hill.
going straight ahead.
Straight ahead. Here, and then we're going to turn left at the roundabout. So approaching the roundabout, can't see any new signs, can you? Any new 30 signs? So it's probably going to be 30 in the new road.
Yeah.
Okay. And the way you're doing your roundabouts today then? Is that the way he was doing them with the other instructor? Or have you changed a few things?
A few things.
Yeah?
Mostly the approaching.
Yeah, that's the biggest part.
Yeah. Because I used to stare at the right hand side most of the time.
Right, okay.
And end up in some wrong lane.
And would you say so far today's been the best you've done roundabouts?
Yeah.
So far, I'm really pleased to hear that.
I'm surprised as well.
And not surprised, pleased.
But I'm surprised.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you've put the work in, haven't you? You've gone out and found, you know, somebody who's going to... I'm actually helping you, aren't I? I like to think.
Help you.
Rather than whoever you was with before. And you're watching the videos and everything, and so, you know, you deserve that. Putting the work in, getting the end, you're getting it back out, aren't you? So speed then, I mean, there's regular street lights here, and there's no speed signs on these signs, so how the hell are we going to know what the speed limit is?
30.
Yeah.
Usually if there is no sign with the street light,
You've got it.
it's 30.
Good stuff. So you know some of the things yourself to be working out. I guess then it's keeping up to date with everything, the signage. Is there any parts of those roundabouts that you feel unsure about at all? Just want to be absolutely clear that there's nothing that else I can really, at the moment, help you with.
I mean, theoretically I know how to do it. I think I just have to do a bit of practice, that's it.
Just keep going what we're doing, yeah. Fine.
Your mind, so this is what I've learned, like keep moving.
Aim not to stop.
Yeah.
You've certainly been doing that today with your roundabouts and that.
Yeah.
So let's turn right at this roundabout. To get back into the left, you know, when you exit, just exit in the right, exit in the lane you've drove in on the roundabout. And we're going to turn right at the next roundabout, so that's your third exit.
This one?
Yeah, you got it. Safest thing to do, you start changing lanes as you're coming off. Well, we're dealing with corners there, aren't we, as we come off the roundabout? Things could be entering from behind at speed. It's a bit... So if you want to change lanes, now is the best time to do it, when you're in a straight line, or wait for their natural merge, which we're actually, you know, is sort of taking place as you can see the road sort of narrowing up in front. And just ease off so we don't squeeze in on the van. Just steer left a smidge, just straighten up here, and just gently just drive into a... And keep checking that centre and left for the merge, make sure there's nothing that we could... merging on. The road's really wide here, but what position are we going to take? Because we know it's one lane, because it just merged.
Yeah.
So we need to lead. No, we
centre mostly.
Yeah, centre of the lane. Yeah. If we are left, we'll encourage cars to overtake, or encourage them to think it's two lanes, ones that haven't been paying attention, and it's not. So there's a good following distance here, and the speed limit is
40.
Yeah. Yeah, so it repeats regularly because it's residential, isn't it? And the street lights, otherwise we'd have to think it's 30, and that's the reason it repeats. So if it was a 20, it would have to repeat. You do get lots of 20s now, and particularly in Nottingham. checks and sideways glance, chin to shoulder, good. I thought he was just going to steer across, you see, at one point. Well, so we need to check again, just make sure nothing's. There could be a junction just after that lorry, for example.
Yeah.
Cars tripped coming out of there, or cyclist off the pavement. So you need to. Well, I think we need to be a bit tighter with these lane changes, or recognising that we're going to do a lane change first.
Okay.
What do you think? Just steer left a bit, because we look like we're positioning to turn right there. If there's any bikers trickling through the middle, we could cause them to swerve or hit us, worst case. Again, try not to follow the car in front like a carriage on a train, because where they stop, we'll have to stop, and we could block exits on the left, for example. So when these move forward, don't you feel tempted to sort of mirror what they do? Let a bit gap. Create a gap.
Yeah.
And then move into it. So clutch in to the floor. See, that's better, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've seen what they do, and then we decide what we want to do. They don't decide what we do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And we can see the brake lights then through the car. And then we can predict that this car's going to brake, for example. So we can be much more educated in the.
Yeah. More of observation.
Just keep up to date with that centre mirror. See if there's anything coming through the middle, bikes and that. Anything coming down?
Nothing.
I would generally, in this sort of slow-moving traffic environment, just be a little bit more to the left. Good to see you checking the left before you do that as well. So, I mean, there might be a slow-moving traffic scenario because there's been an accident at the bottom. Next thing we hear is sirens, an ambulance wants to come through the middle. If you're already over to the left, it's just a case of them guys getting over to their right, and there's going to be another lane there for an ambulance to get through. Do you know anything else about emergency vehicles and how to respond, or?
I think we spoke about this in the first class. Just we should not rush and just move.
Yeah.
We just have to watch our surroundings and respond accordingly.
Yeah.
Instead of just turning right or left to give space to the ambulance or
Definitely.
emergency vehicles.
Yeah. They're trained to get around us, aren't they? We're not trying to get out of their way. It's so unpredictable. Clutch down now. Just clutch down first. At low speed, it's not coast or anything. It'll just be a bit smoother. And just feel your way into your brakes ever so softly. So clutch down now. And if you put your clutch down early enough, you won't need to actually brake. The clutch does all the slowing because there's nothing powering the wheels anymore. Clutch down is disconnecting.
The engine.
Exactly.
The car behind is very close to us.
Very close. Do you think she thinks she's going to get to her destination quicker? Bit of a false economy, that one. She might not know she's doing it. To her, it's probably acceptable. I think there's a lot of that goes on. Sometimes it's malicious. I don't know.
So, in those cases, if they come very close to us, and for whatever reason we just go a little bit behind while starting to move off and hit them, would it be our mistake or is it their mistake because they're too close to us?
Exactly. So it's always going to be the person who's hit. I say always. There is exceptions, but generally speaking, it's always going to be the one who goes into the back of you, because there really is no excuse for it. Generally speaking, because if you go into the back of somebody, simply you was too close. Therefore, you didn't give yourself time to, number one, see that what was developing, and number two, give yourself time to then act on it and stop in time. So in terms of insurance and that, it's always, you know, generally, unless there's been a car that shunted another one, which I had last year or the year before, it's going to be their fault. Yeah, it's a good question. So let's slow early to give them even more time to react then. So if you go clutch down now, give them early brake warning signals. You know, where you press the pedal about that much, but you're not actually. And what we're doing now is we're controlling her. We're controlling her speed. She finishes it off by speeding up, doesn't she, to get even closer. So I think some people might feel a bit pressured as well to use up road space. But there's
No,
tons of it, isn't there? We've got a massive road behind us. Again, she's probably not aware of it. What we're going to do then, we're going to turn left at the light controlled roundabout. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's the speed limit at the moment?
30.
What did we say it was on this road?
Oh, sorry, 40. So it just continues unless we sign.
Yeah, I've not seen any others as we come to the end of this road, and there's the bit more of the end here, and I can't see any here. Nice one. Let's control her behind as well again, just nice and soft with the slowing. Stop. I may not have needed to say that. Was you going to stop anyway?
Yeah, I saw the orange lights. Yeah.
Good. Just wanted to check. So what does amber mean to you then? Or orange as you put it, whatever you want to say it.
About to change to red and we have to stop, but if we are very close to the junction and we are doing like 20 miles per hour, we can just continue instead of stopping because someone behind us can hit us.
Fantastic, good.
But
yeah. So you're going to stop if it's safe to?
Yeah, if it is safe.
If there's time to.
If we are very slow, like what we are doing.
And you made an educated decision that time, because you was very much in your mirrors, weren't you, on the approach? You knew what was going on behind, you knew your distance from the line. Let's not accelerate here, you know, like you were saying, just come off. Because the slower we are, the earlier we are. What do we give these lights a chance to do?
Change.
Yeah. Go clutch down first now, and then you can roll in first, and you might not stop. So I mean, it's great planning above all else, but it's actually sort of eco driving. You're using less fuel, so you're not stopping as much. Making life easy. Less risk of a rear ender because you're not stopping.
Yeah.
Less wear and tear on the brake pads, etc. potentially.
So we didn't see any speed signs. So should we continue in 40 or?
It actually did. We was. Yeah, maybe we could prioritise. I was talking about the lights and that because that was also relevant. But it changed to 30 just as we come into this new road.
Okay.
Just as we come into the, it's like a bit of a high street there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's do the speed thing now, and should we focus on that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's pretty important, isn't it? They get that bang on. So it's 30 at the moment. There's regular street lights and there's no sign, so it's still 30. At the lights, we'll turn left. Potential threats behind us.
No.
What signal are we going to give to make them fully aware in good time? What gear should you prepare in? Just because when these change, we don't want to be sort of playing catch up, do we? So ideally we want to be going on the green, and on the amber it's prepare to. And by not beating your gear, then it kind of delayed us a bit, didn't it? What could that do to drivers behind? How could that make them react?
Just irritates them and then they try to rush or overtake us.
Yeah, they could well do. Now that that's for that car park, see, because it's in.
Inside.
Yeah. It's got 5 mile an hour limit. Should we go off and have a look at the emergency stop then next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see this as a residential area.
Yeah.
Just do 25 instead of 30. And there's a car behind me. So do you think 25 is reasonable or should I
think it is here approaching this car. I was actually about to say it, and for some reason I didn't. I feel like we should have been doing 30 because it's quite a long. Visibility is quite good.
don't press the clutch because it will help with the engine braking as well.
Fantastic. Do
Maybe.
you want a job?
I just guessed it.
Yeah. The longer the clutch is up, the more engine braking is helping the car to slow down whilst foot brake. So you've got engine braking slowing us down the second you come off the gas, plus foot braking. So our stopping time is going to be quicker. I believe in some manufacturers' handbooks it says that you can do both at the same time and it doesn't affect it. Okay. I've not looked into that, but it's just something I've heard. I don't know how true that is, but but in terms of this today, we're going to be braking first and then clutch down.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop quicker. If you go clutch first, you'll probably pick up a bit of speed before you slow down.
Yeah.
Like you say. If you stall, it doesn't really matter on this.
Yeah, because you want emergency.
You want to.
Yeah.
You want to stop anyway, don't you? So, as soon as you do stop, you said you keep a firm grip on the wheel till you stop. That's great. When you do stop, what's the first thing you're going to do to secure the car? Because for whatever reason we stop for, we don't want to get, if there is something behind us and it does end up going in the back of us.
Yeah, handbrake.
Yeah, you got it. And then just for the you'd probably get neutral if it was a real scenario or whatever. But for today, we're going to go straight to first, and then it's a full check all around. 6-point check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we're going to be in a driving position, not a parking position like this.
Yeah.
So centre of the lane, hopefully. And cyclists could catch up on the left and all the usual from the right and everything like that. So that's really important.
Okay.
Alright, I think that's about it. Let me just talk to you about skid. If you did get into a skid, where would you, and the back end, say for example, was to start to slide to the right a bit, back end slides to the right. Where would you steer? Right, where would you steer your steering?
We always steer into the skid.
Yeah.
So if the back is skidding right, we turn right.
Yeah. That's it. Otherwise, you're gonna do a 180. Otherwise.
Okay.
Aren't you? You're just gonna spin it. That's it. That's good. So, any questions on that?
No questions for now. Maybe once we start doing it, maybe something comes.
Okay. Let's just practice what we're going to do. So let's pretend you're driving and you're on your gas. Don't actually press it, but just simulate your right foot being there.
Okay.
So your right foot's driving. Don't actually press it though. And your left foot's sort of near the clutch, like it would be when you're driving. Just hold the wheel.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my mirror and look behind me, make sure I don't miss nothing, and then I'm going to tell you to stop. Remember, no mirrors. And then I want you to pivot to the brake firmly and progressively. Don't slam it. So stop and clutch down. So brake, clutch down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got that?
Yeah.
You want to do that again, or you're happy with that?
Let's do that once again. So good.
And yeah, and stop. You got it. When we stop, we should feel a little pull at the end, but not a massive one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it, I think.
Okay.
So we'll drive on. You got any questions?
No.
Drive on when you're ready, and we'll turn left. So build up, just drive as you usually would. I'm not going to ask you in front of this pedestrian because it just could startle them. They might, it might just come across a bit. So we'll just wait until nobody's around ideally. So just follow this road round, it just loops to the left. That dog on a lead, so this could be a real, yeah it is on a lead, it could be a real, that leads to an interesting debate as well, stopping for animals, but we'll keep on track at the moment because we've got things to think about. So the road ahead looks fairly clear, so when we get on the straight bit we'll get into our own side of the road and we'll accelerate as though we're not coming up to that bend because we're going to aim to stop before it. Just steer into our own side completely. Stop. Brake, 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 much harder. And handbrake on. First gear. Now use POM. So we're going to prepare the feet, gas set, bike point found. Good, and you've done your checks. No need for a signal, is there? On this occasion. I didn't say that in the brief actually. Okay, so we're going to turn left at the end, so we're not going to go down the gears or anything, we're just going to select first gear before we get there. Look left a bit more. Keep that. I want you to look left more so you can really follow that curb. So if you lose the curb, you'll go into the other side of the road down such a tight road. Take next road on the left. Why is it important to get that signal on early here? Keep in second, keep in second. If you slow there and she looks, what's she going to do? Why is she... Just pull up on the left for me. Check your mirrors then before you stopped. You didn't have to pull up so instantly, you know. You just keep rolling.
If we are slowing down, she may try to cross the road.
Yeah.
Thinking that we are stopping for her.
That's it. So why was she going to go first on that one? So you're going into first gear on approach to turning into?
Because I thought it's too fast.
Okay. What you want to do, you just want to come off that gas nice and early, feel the engine braking, take control of the car and just let it carry you into the road. I would, because she's there, just cover the brake, cover the clutch, so you're ready to act if necessary. If not, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
Pulling in then, it was quite sudden.
Yes.
Was you aware of what was behind you? No. So when I ask you to pull in, don't rush it. Check your mirrors. You know, but don't brake. You spread your braking out nice and smooth, like you can do. Yeah. Don't want anybody in the back of us. Right, the emergency stop then. Did it feel emergency like to you?
No.
No. What? Just secure the car. We could forget, couldn't we, and just fly forward. What went down first, clutch or brake? Are you aware?
Maybe both.
I think clutch well before brake, if I recall correctly. You didn't get to the brake quite quick enough. There was so we're looking for speed of reactions, but also progressive braking.
Yeah.
So when I say stop, your right foot needs to go.
Okay.
Because that kid's running out. We don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, for example. So straight to the brake, brake, clutch down.
Yeah. Do
you want me to give you some instruction?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll go for instruction the next time, and then we'll see what you can do after that.
Okay.
Alright, so drive on when you're ready. Just build up speed as you normally would. There's nothing around, so I will intend to ask you on this road if all stays the same. Just keep it about this speed all the way up. Don't worry about the bend. There's a car behind, so I'm not going to ask you to do it, okay? Obviously we're asking for trouble, aren't we, if we emergency stop with a car behind us. So we're not going to do that, not on a Friday anyway. So what are you expecting when they come on here?
Vehicles or kids.
Yeah.
Cyclists.
Okay. And if we do have to emergency stop, I think we're at the right speed to be able to stop there. That's a key thing.
This is the favorite place.
Yeah. Just build up a bit of speed for me. A bit more, steer left a bit, that's it. And stop. Brake. If I keep saying that, I should only be able to say that a couple of times.
Alright.
Yeah. If I keep saying it, you're not braking quick enough. Okay. So first gear. The clutch went down way too early then.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's why. Did you feel it? I think that handbrake on. Prepare now with your feet. Prepare first. That's it. Any need for a signal?
No.
No. Okay. Good. Just pull up on the left just here. Don't rush it. Just pop the clutch down and roll steadily. Check your mirrors as you're rolling. And look forwards. Yeah. Before you hold that left on too long, you're fine. But just relating it to our chat earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I can do, I can offer you a demo if you want.
Yeah.
Would you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
I just want to see how sudden it is. I'm not getting a feel for it. Maybe if someone's in front of me, maybe I'll just slam the brakes.
Maybe you would.
I'm just seeing a nice clear road and I'm not getting a feel for it.
Alright.
Probably, yeah. That will be better.
Okay.
You show me how sudden it is, then I can understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm quite good at braking, so I'll try not to get too heavy on it. Yeah. Alright, let's swap.
Alright.
Let's swap. Okay, I'll go around the block then. I won't do it on the main road.
Yeah.
No need for a second. So just watch out, follow this, just might as well use this. Just follow this curb round this time. I'm looking left main here.
Yeah.
I'd take a little bit of more time than what you did do on the ones like that. Just get it, you know, make sure you got all the angles covered, get it right. So we're going to take, next left. So off the gas early, look, covering just with feet, looking over the grass, look. Nice early view there, and I still haven't touched the pedals. The car's just carrying me in. I'm going to go back on the gas now, check my mirrors for the end of the road. So a bit more speed then. Do with these pedestrians around, I don't know, I just feel it's a bit awkward. Maybe that's just my own personal thing, but I think if it was you doing it, you'd be conscious they was there looking at you, wouldn't you? Yeah. Maybe I feel a little bit the same. Because they might not understand what we're doing fully, you know what I mean? Right, so I'm going to do it on this bit. So, third gear, what about 25? Stop, brake, clutch. Handbrake on. First gear, prepare, observe. No need for a signal, move. And then I'm pulling on the left. Okay. So what can you take from that then?
Yeah. Understood, like how certain it is, so maybe I'll try to do it.
Yeah? Just a bit firmer, a bit quicker. As soon as I said stop, my right foot was straight on.
Yeah.
Did you feel I slammed the brakes on?
It was sudden, but it was smooth as well. It's not like jerky or trying to skid or something like that. It was sudden, yeah.
I guess what you're doing is you're getting a good amount on, but you're kind of easing back off it a bit, because if you stay on that amount, you are going to just go, which you don't want. So, yeah, firm and progressive. Okay. Right, let's, any questions?
No. Maybe I'll do it. Yeah.
Happy with that, yeah?
Yeah.
It's statistically 1 in every 3 tests, this, in terms of the driving test.
So not in every driving test.
No. So there's a chance you may not get it, but it's a good skill just to know that you can do anyway, because who knows when you're going to need to use it.
Exactly.
As you say, I think I'd press the brake hard if I needed to, but I think it's good to just gone over it and understand. Because the other thing is, would you put your clutch? You might brake hard, but would you put your clutch down early like you do here? But if you know about it from this practice, that could make the difference on the day, whenever that is. Hopefully never.
Yeah. Hopefully never. Yeah, right.
So what was the, why did it stall then really? What was the real reason?
Gas?
Yeah. Get your gas on before you find your bike. I've noticed when you start your checks, you're not quite prepared with your feet. I'd get them feet done and set first, then do your checks. So you're not doing two things at once, because you could forget your gas by doing that, would you reckon?
Yeah.
And turning left at the end, please. It's all good. I know we'll be going dizzy soon, but should we do another loop? Because we know it's alright for practice around here, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you reckon? And next ride on the left, remember what we said, just ease off early. Have a look over this grass, look. You see right at the end of the road.
Yeah.
Does that feel too quick for you?
No.
No? Good stuff, well done. So we're going to aim to do the stop on this road, just pop into third. As soon as I say stop, remember, no mirrors and firm progressive braking. We're going to do it before the bend, so keep it outside of the road. The car joined us behind, so just slow down now and just follow it round. That car's pulling in somewhere, so we're going to come round this block. Keep slow in case something comes round. As we come round, we're going to look to practice that again. Stop. Brake, 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 then clutch. Okay, handbrake on as soon as you stop. Remember the sort of type of scenario you want that on.
Yeah.
And then prepare to go. So do preparation with the feet first. Feel like Porky Pig then.
Was it any better?
Right, yeah. I didn't want to feed back in the road in case a car joined us and think, what the bloody hell he's doing in the middle of the road. Braking was firmer, but the clutch was the same.
Yeah.
So turn left again. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. It's too quick, that is. It's way too quick because, I mean, you didn't even have a chance to get your signal on. It's way too quick because you've got that fence there to the right where you just can't see. The car could be doing 40 down here. Yeah. 1 second it's not there, the next second it is, and you've committed. Next road on the left. Don't forget to get your signal. Right, now I want you to use the same braking as you did last time. Don't press the clutch till I say clutch.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to say clutch, then you're going to bang your left foot down to the floor. So we're going to look to do it this time again.
Yeah.
I want you to put your handbrake on as soon as you stopped as well.
Okay.
Stop, brake, brake. What about that clutch? Alright then.
Involuntary actions, you know. Some program in the brain.
Did you feel how hard I was braking and I still got that clutch down a good while later?
Yes.
Yeah? So pop it into first gear because it's just going to make your overall stopping time a bit quicker putting that down, as we said, too early, so we want to get out of the habit of that. So wait for the clutch.
Because somewhere in the back it's saying your car will stall, so
well, remember, if it stalls, it doesn't really matter, because if it stalls, it stops.
but the thing is,
The program in the brain.
program is just saying you have to press your left leg first.
Yeah, we don't do that, we don't stall. Right, so let's have another look. So wait for the clutch command, okay?
Yeah.
Stop, braking, 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 clutch. Fantastic. Handbrake on.
Yeah.
First gear. Did that feel different?
It was, I got the feel.
All right.
It's very different than if you press the clutch and then brake. It's very much different. I think it's quick.
Quicker. Cool. Yeah. All right. You definitely don't speed up before you slow down, do you? You're going to stop. Like you say, you're going to stop quicker. Just overall stopping distance. Right. Move off the way we discussed. Cool. And just pull up on the left. Remember, don't rush it. Any need for that signal? Anybody around to benefit from it?
No.
No? Don't worry about it then. Don't give one. What is important that you don't signal when there's nobody around? Because you could turn around to me and just say, oh well, I'll just signal anyway, because if someone comes then it's sorted. What do you think the method is behind saying only signal when there's somebody around to benefit? That excludes junctions, as you know. We always signal for junctions because we're dealing with bends and corners.
Why only?
We've been over it before. Can't remember whether we.
So.
Do you want me to help you with that?
Yeah.
What it is by you signalling only if there's something around, that makes you need to know if there's anything around that potentially needs to know. It makes you look properly, and not just look as in, oh, I've checked, or whatever it is. You're looking for that something, so you're going to proper process what you see.
Yeah.
And so from my point of view, I can see as well, and I've got my mirror, and obviously I can see in front. So I'm thinking, yeah, Sharon's checked his mirrors because he hasn't signalled, because I know he's clued up as to what's around him.
Yeah.
Same with moving off. You know, there's nothing around to benefit. Don't give one.
Yeah.
If you do sit there with the signal flashing, it just confuses cars as they're passing.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you happy with the emergency stop for today? I'm aware we've spent some time on it, and it might be getting a bit tedious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We can always drop back on it, can't we?
Yeah.
And you can perhaps practice it in your own car with your private practice. Right. So roundabout's going well. Emergency stop kind of achieved what we set out to do with that.
Yeah.
We're finishing at what? 1:45? It's right, isn't it? We started it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And so we've got to get back to town end. What do you think is going to be a suitable, based on today's lesson, and what do you think is going to be a suitable thing to focus on for the rest? I've got a few ideas, but what's in your head? Focus on the way home.
Roundabouts and speed.
Speed limits. Planning, forward thinking, I think. And go on, what was you going to say?
Yeah, just the general driving.
I think amongst that, let's tidy up the lane changes as well. Yeah, so that's a nice little plan, isn't it? And what is it that we need to achieve with the lane changing? Just to that we said earlier.
What is that we want to achieve?
Yeah.
That we are doing it safely.
What? And what do you need to do? What do you need to add in to make it safer that you didn't do earlier? You told me earlier you'd check your
blind spots.
Yeah. So quick sideways glance.
Yeah.
Let's practice that now. Let's pretend. Just do a quick dummy run. Let's pretend we're going to change lanes to the right. So you would check centre right mirror. So check that now. Just centre and right mirror.
Sorry,
so centre right. You'd signal. Just pretend. And then you would have a quick sideways glance. So let's do that all as one. Centre right mirror. Pretend to signal.
Yeah.
And then a quick glance.
Centre right mirror and then signal.
And then back forward. Now that glance has got to be much quicker than that.
Yeah.
So let's do it in real time. So centre right mirror, signal on, centre right mirror, signal on, quick glance, back to the road ahead, and now start to steer. Keep the signal on to complete the manoeuvre, then cancel. By complete the manoeuvre I mean landed fully in the next lane.
center and right mirror signal.
There. Yep. Alright.
Yeah.
Same with the left.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do a practice with the left?
Yeah.
Yeah? Get that muscle memory working?
Yeah. Center and left mirror signal. And then, sorry.
Yeah?
Center and left mirrors.
Yeah.
And then signal.
Yeah.
Check your blind spot and then start.
Back to the road ahead, yeah.
Okay.
It only needs one check over there as well, just one quick check. If you need to have another glance, you can always use these. These are the best ones because they show in the distance as well, so they show anything coming up. Literally, we're checking that, just see if something's already lurking at the side of us that the mirrors don't show.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want any help with remembering that glance on the move?
Might be because. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. And the speed then, should we just keep doing the... What do you think is going to be best to do in terms of keeping track of speed limits?
I'll try to say out what's going on in my mind regarding the speeds.
Yeah.
I always say what's my interpretation of the speed limit.
Okay, and where... What was you going to say?
That's right.
And where you don't say it, I'll say it.
Yeah.
I'll fill in the bits, and hopefully you'll just keep filling in all of it as we go through then, and it'll be completely you that keeps on top of it all the time. You alright temperature wise?
Yep.
Yeah? Drive on when you're ready then. So remember, we're going to be a touch slower when we get to these junctions, just at the end, just based on the last couple you've done. We're going to turn right at the end. Lovely there. Good stuff. Check your left mirror. See the space you got? You don't argue with him, do we?
Yeah.
I think we'll come worse off. At the junction, we'll turn left, please. So straight first. So the clutch down's too early, and that prompts you to select second.
Yeah.
So just use your brake to slow and just keep braking. Get the gear in later. Let's aim for 2 car lengths back from the giveaway lines. Clutch down first.
Yeah.
Done. No messing about there, messing around with gears that we're probably not going to use anyway.
Yeah. Speed limit is 30 here.
Well done. When we reach the end of the road, we'll turn right. So what gear are we going to go for? Because we're in third, we'll probably stay in third, aren't we, unless you can fall. But what gear are we going to go straight into when we get to the end?
First gear.
Yeah, so your clutch is going to go down how many car lengths from the line?
2 car lengths.
2, not 3.
Yeah.
Yeah? So turn it right. That's about 4. So 2 would be about here,
Okay.
alright? So I'll help you with that next time,
Yeah.
if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Try not to go over the giveaways till he's passed, because if he changes his mind and then wants to turn, and we're popping out of it, we could obstruct their turning line, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're going to take the next road on the left. Go back in second, clutch up. And pull up. On the left, no rush, just pull up on the left at the same place. Just want to go over that if that's okay, because that could be quite safety critical. Yeah, do you want to edge to the next? Anything coming? You're absolutely fine as you are. You're actually edging away from it now. Is your door mirror too high? Because if you... Here's a thought, and I really should have got this. Just secure the car. When I've did the demonstration, I lowered the seat. When you jumped back in, did you put it up again? You did?
I did.
Right, okay,
yeah.
Fair enough. I didn't check that, and I should have thought to be watching you. I didn't, so I didn't know. But if you feel the need to do that, to look in there, you might need to lower that down a bit, because you need to see a little bit, maybe just the back end of the curb when you're parking. Can you see that now from a normal, natural sort of driving position? If you just pop that down a little bit, can you still see a good view of the road behind? Can you still see to the end of the road in that mirror? Yeah? So if we're changing lanes on a carriageway or something and cars are shooting down at 70, we're going to see them coming. Yeah? And you can see a bit more of the curb as well.
Yes.
So that'll be more helpful when you park. Can you see now that the back end's nice and you've started to actually steer yourself away from? So don't overdo it, don't overthink it. Once you've got a reasonable width, anything like this, drains width or something, just leave it there. As long as you're not obstructing the other side of the road, fire engines, lorries can get through, dustbin lorries, etc. And we're fine. Right, what's the reason I asked you to pull up then initially?
While turning left, I was trying to change the gear to 1. Yeah.
Any ideas why?
Because there are some cars behind us. So I'm not sure.
That's why I took over, because the next thing you was going to do was engage first gear by lifting the clutch up, turning into that road. What's that going to do to the speed of the car?
Suddenly drop.
Suddenly. I think there'd be brake lights, because I think, I'm not 100%, I think it was braking as you was coming round. But what that is like is all of a sudden you're braking and then going and stabbing the brakes for them behind.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
So I just overrode you, put the clutch down, popped you back in second and clutched back up, and around we went. Now let's get to the root cause. Why did you feel the need to go into first gear there? Was it a conscious decision, or was it just something that happened, or?
I think it's conscious. I thought we have too much of speed for that. I tried to reduce the speed, so I've started pressing the brake pedals. And I thought 2 is not appropriate, so changed to 1, slow down, and then move in 1. That's the plan.
Okay.
Maybe I think like 10-15 miles is okay. Maybe I don't know.
Are you looking at your speed a lot when you're approaching these and turning in?
Not exactly.
No.
No.
It's generally fine in second. I mean, that's tight there. I turn into there in second.
Okay.
The trouble is with what you did. First gear's too slow on the old road, because you're generally turning off a major road to turn into a minor, and everything in between. It's not always that, but so the traffic sees you turning, and generally what this traffic does, whether it's consciously or not, they start to speed up. They think, oh, Sharon's gone now. I'm gonna speed up and get into that gap where he was and get to my destination 0.001 second quicker. You know the logic. But that's how it works. And so if you all of a sudden mid-turn go first gear clutch up, that again, it's like you're jarring the brakes on as they're gaining behind, because they anticipate you just getting gone. That turn that we did was a real wide one, nice wide one. And as we turn in, I think you need to be looking more at where you're driving and how far ahead you can see. Are there any obstructions? What's the road width like? Any parked cars? Any meeting situations? Because if there's none of those, we just drive through. And the reason, that's the reason we do those in second, is because as you turn in, you can normally see in. That's why when we normally go to a T-junction, that one would be different. You'd see you in that one, wouldn't you, if you emerged out from that junction just there. But generally, when we get to the end, we can't see anything, and that's why we use first on them, because we can slow down to what, as little as what, about 0.5. You know what I mean, though? So is that add a bit of clarity to that, or is that
Yeah, it's clear now. Maybe I should get a feel for the speed and stuff.
does it make you feel a bit?
Yeah.
Go on, what was you going to say?
You remember, like, when we were practicing emergency braking,
I do.
while turning left, you have demonstrated, like, in second gear, you just turned left without doing anything.
Yeah.
I don't know, I forgot that, and maybe I should have simply continued in second gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Stop trying to move into first. Yeah, I forgot that.
Right. So maybe a bit of an error on my part, because I could have asked you if you wanted help with that, and I don't think I did.
Not exactly, because we've been doing turning lefts and rights most of the time, and that was okay. But suddenly I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, there's a bit of yeah. So in that case, do you want me to remind you when turning into a road to just come off that bit sooner? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we're going to feel, what we're then going to do, we're just going to cover the pedals in case we need them.
Okay.
If we do need them, they're there, and you can obviously do what you need to do very quickly. There's no thinking about, oh, got to get my feet up and get on the pedal. They're already there. So that's what I do when I'm turning into a road. I just have my feet up until I can see around the corner fully, road ahead, and then I'll pivot from brake to gas, go. Well, sometimes depends on the road. Okay. So yeah, that's it, isn't it? All done.
Yep.
In theory. Now let's do it in practical. So drive on when you're ready. Just trying to think about the route home. I don't think there is that many left turns. There definitely is when you turn into your flats. So we'll have a look there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'll try and use the same sort of. I'll relate that skill to different scenarios if I can. If it doesn't come up,